Uh-huh.
Hi.
And the camera's flipped on. Yeah, there you go. It's working.
All right. So we're just gonna blast this out of the park right now. Plugs for all of our stuff are gonna be later at the end of our stream, but for right now, we're just gonna have a little placeholder. We both have YouTubes. We both do our own respective things on different days, but most of the time we're together. So,
Mm-hmm.
as a result, check that multi-link for when it's available. Yeah, we have things. I'm a writer, among other things. He has a Twitter. He has other things. So, join us later for all of that goodness in detail.
Yeah,
So, what are
including
we doing
like
today?
full-on announcements and everything. Today we are going to do the new IO bunker. I heard there is a little cutscene. Well, not really cutscene, but like it's a new thing to progress the story a little bit. So we're gonna be saying that today, and then we're gonna be farming the ordeals so we can get materials and stuff specifically to prepare for whatever is coming next, and get ready for other armor sets and everything that we want to upgrade. So you have like uh, solar set ready, or solar armor pieces ready, or void or arc or whatever. Just being prepared in general. Um,
Whoop,
yeah, a little cutscene,
dolphins.
of course, and then cue the. Has it always been there? Uh, Definitely not. So as we're doing the nightfall grinding, since grinding is really mundane, and I find strikes specifically very mundane, that's why I don't do them a lot anymore unless I actually have to. Um,
In this case, we kind of have to.
yeah, we're going to be talking about things. We're going to be talking about essentially the state of the game, how we
Yep.
feel about it, um, what our hopes for the future are for this game, and we will also be talking about how if certain things don't change or if certain things don't improve, this game might in fact actually die.
Yeah,
Um, this
it's
might
kind of
actually be the last year of Destiny 2 with the way things are going. Because, like, I mean, they did talk about how they're going to be, improving trials a little bit by, like, changing the way the reward system works, and they're trying to think of ways to, like, make it to where, like, players aren't farming other players for tokens and stuff like that. But like that's very short term. There's a long term problem with Destiny 2 right now. We're going to be discussing that a little bit later. But for now, I'm trying to pass the time as we wait for this black screen to finish.
keep vamping, keep vamping.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. Our major trials talk. We're going to touch on it a little, but our major trials talk is going to be on Saturday,
Hmm.
and that's after we have our final uh, trials send off. Even though that's not the end of trials officially, it's the end of trials for us for now. And
For this season, at
yeah,
least.
we'll talk a little
At
bit
least
more
for
on
right now.
that. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more on that while we're
Hear noises.
doing the thing. And
Still
then,
hasn't loaded in for me.
oh boy,
I'm still at a black screen.
oh boy, that's not good because I'm
Okay,
in
I'm
now.
alive.
Oh, hey, there you go. Let's go to this
Again, that's
bunker.
kind of sort of part of the problem.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. That's just one of the many topics. We have quite a lot to talk about for the state of the game. Ooh,
Yeah, we can go. Ooh,
this
I'm
one's
actually gonna get
slightly
off of the
different.
bike here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look.
Huh? Not what I expected.
Me neither. Okay, there's nothing back here, but wow.
That's a big old pipe. Wait, no, that's a train. This is a train, dude.
Oh crap! It is a train.
Monorail.
It is.
Huh. Kind of makes me wonder if there was actually like a town or a city here at one point.
Maybe. I mean, the Golden Age did have a lot of planets being
Colonized.
full on colonized, living, breathing cities.
Hmm. Nope.
217.
Whee!
Ooh, ooh.
Launch
And
it.
jump.
Oh yeah.
Hey. Okay, let me see if I can buy
Whoop.
upgrades right off the bat.
having all the things.
I can't buy any I can't buy any upgrades because I don't have any bits, and we have to do the thing.
We have to clear the bunker first.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm set up so that I can take on any challenger. Or
Sick.
champion, rather.
Yeah. I'll just switch between my hand cannon and my SMG. Oh, that's it? Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, hey, look, the
God.
pyramids.
Is this what's had your attention? Preparations to fight? To rebuild? To run?
Mayday, 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 this is NFB Meritursa 16. 11,000 souls in cryo sleep aboard. We're a few minutes out of New Pacific Arcology. We were struck by debris in a large wave. Fusion plant offline. We can see extensive, catastrophic damage to one of the arcology domes. Oh, it's gone over. Respond if able.
Mayday! 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 This is New Pacific Arcology on guard. Declaring a sundown loss of habitability event. We have 2.9 million souls aboard. We repeat, Titan is no longer safe for human life.
The collapse. You were there. You gave everything to a cause and saw it all swept away. You're afraid to fail. Again. So am I. I've never considered how it must have felt to live through the collapse. From this day, we speak as allies, not warriors who seek to wield each other as weapons. After we break the Almighty, the city will devote whatever resources you need towards banishing these dark omens. When they come, we will stand together, as equals, as guardians.
Whoa.
That was.
That was heavy.
It actually was, though. That was wild, friend.
That was an excerpt from Last Days on Kraken Mare, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was like a lore tab that he was like repeating.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I remember Bife doing a video on that.
Huh.
Yeah, the god wave that hit them.
Yeah, I have no online bits, so.
Oh wait,
Can't get
I do.
anything. Hey.
I saved up because I haven't, spent them on the other bunkers.
Uh huh.
Yep, I was able to get the cost reduction too.
Hey. Yeah,
So,
get the cost reductions first.
Yeah. Wait, I already have chipsets for IO? Huh.
Yeah, when you pick up upgrades, they give you chipsets.
Neat. Now what?
Then you upgrade.
I already did, but I wasn't able to pawn enough in to get another upgrade. Or one upgrade for that matter. So, what now?
Well, now we farm nightfall on top.
Alright, send us in, boy.
Absolutely. Unheroic. The champions are unstoppable and barrier.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, hey, wait, whoa, oh, you missed it.
What?
There was, triangular shapes on the system map. On the very edge.
Word?
Yeah. There were.
Oh,
I just saw it.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I just saw it, like, beyond... Okay, so I think it was Saturn? That was the last planet that was actually showing. Everything beyond that was dark, and at the very edge of the map, there was flashing, like, red triangles.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so...
Yo, I just realized if you look at the season banner, if you go to like seasons and then look at the banner, where it shows the symbol, it has like red lines for Siva.
Where?
Click on seasons.
Oh, wait, seasons. Okay, yes.
Look at the banner. Look at the bottom.
Oh God. Yeah, I see that.
I didn't realize that until now.
Oh, that's fun. Remember, kill all the champions so we can get a good score.
Yeah. I have Unstoppable on.
Ow, ow! Jesus! Holy mother!
Boy getting pelted. Ooh! Forgot about the ogre that's here.
Yeah, I got destroyed by a witch on the way. I didn't even see the ogre.
Man, oh man. That's right, the multiplayer doesn't start until we actually get into the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get situated, then we'll start talking.
Hey, man.
Ooh,
Man.
right off the bat. Anti-barrier right off the bat.
I got anti-barrier.
Go for it, that's you there.
Well, I have to get to you.
Ooh.
Also, is our buddy speedrunning?
No, he's killing.
Alright, cool.
He has a sidearm, so that's good.
Oh, sweet. Perfect. Yeah, I got waylaid on the way. Yep.
Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of badness. Pick up our friend.
I had to stop the Unstoppable real quick.
Alright. Jesus! That witch got me good, man. Oh! Level up!
Hey.
Back off!
Ooh, she hurt.
Yeah, she does.
Alright, I'll deal with the Unstoppables, you deal with the anti-barriers.
Yeah, I also have overload. And I can do unstoppable because of melee.
Yeah,
So I have the full kit.
that's what's up.
Get away from me exploding. Where am I? Good luck with that.
I'm chilling.
Alright, this is a barrier night.
It is? Oh,
Mhm.
it is, wow.
And staggered, and my worm.
Nice.
It's a good worm. It
Wormy.
explodes and gets rid of walls.
Uh-huh.
So, talking about the state of the game, right?
Yup. The state of the game.
Honestly, things are really slowing down and not in a good way.
Yeah. I believe
The
some
bit with Zavala just now, that was the first piece of tangible, like, story we got.
in like a good while.
Yeah,
Well, since
like-
the start of the season.
Well, there was that bit where, what's her face? Anna actually was like, you know, like, oh yeah, Rasputin's here to help. But like, well, we already knew that. We already knew your opinion on the man.
Yeah,
Or machine, rather.
true.
So that's nothing new.
Yeah, it wasn't really anything new.
So I don't know. It's just that, yeah, like I said, like Zavala finally acknowledging Rasputin, like that was actually something substantial.
Yeah, I'd say that story content right there. What we've been getting, well, throughout this season so far, it's just been like
Nothing.
really, really
It's
lackluster.
been paper thin in terms of like story.
Yeah, well, in terms of actual content in general,
That's
it's
true.
very similar to last season, and last season had a lot more exciting stuff going on.
Ow. I got stuck between two witches.
Like there's
Turn this down.
there's just a lot that this season is missing. And I don't know if it's because, we haven't seen a lot of the season yet, because, like, we still have Guardian games to go through, and,
I
like, they
have
might,
my doubts that that's actually going to accomplish much.
I mean, they might have, like, a secret quest in there or something. Like they do for most of the events. There's a lot going on over here.
I know, I was dead.
Oh, apparently he died too. Let me use my
Alright.
super.
Same. Is Unstoppable on?
Yeah.
Or sorry, no, I meant Unflinching.
Unflinching? I don't know.
Yeah, where the enemies don't flinch.
I have no clue. I didn't really look at the modifier too much.
Ah,
But, yeah, the unfortunate problem that Destiny is having right now is the fact that, like, there's a lot to do. It's just none of it actually matters.
yeah, it's not important.
Yeah, like, the only thing that's really important, depending on who you ask, well, for the general populace, it's raids, nightfalls, and Trials of Osiris. And even that's
Yeah.
kind of iffy right now.
Yeah, Trials of Osiris has been compromised.
Pretty much.
Too many like hackers, and then the elite are the only ones staying. So the casual players are the ones that are suffering the most from that. So
Yep.
then it depopulates the entire area, and then it's just the entire economy of the area just goes down as a result.
Pretty much. That's what's happening right now with the game mode. But yeah, like literally, it depend. Also, another thing that people are going for is just titles, like the seals.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to really.
Exactly. Like
Accomplish.
Destiny 2 is turning into like a checkbox game. Like, okay, let me do the thing so I can check it off the list, and then that's it. Like after I check it off the list, then I'll just wait for next season so I can get the other check mark on the list.
Mm-hmm.
It's becoming and it sucks too because the gameplay itself is fascinating. Like the game structurally, oh no, not structurally. Gameplay wise, like the way it feels, the way it plays, the way the guns feel, the way the guns play, the way the guns
The
sound,
world they
even
created.
the world itself is amazing.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I,
a fascinating, very intriguing place to like occupy.
Exactly. Like I love Destiny 2. I can specifically say I love the universe of Destiny.
Yeah, ever since it first came out, it was a very interesting place. Although you had to dig for it. Right?
Exactly. But um, the game itself
The way it
balancing
plays.
is just not so much. There's a lot wrong with it, mainly because there's nothing to do in it. I can understand if you're like just now starting out, and you see there's tons to do, there's tons to get, but then when you have literally all of the exotics, when you can't do all the raids because your friends don't play much anymore,
Because
or
they've given up hope.
or you're just not really interested in raids altogether,
Like me.
and then you you come to a stopping point because some exotics are specifically locked behind raids, um, and not everybody's going to be able to get them, which is understandable because as a player you shouldn't be expected to get everything, but
Yeah, like Thousand Voices.
exactly. But once you have everything, once you're that player that has finally ended up doing all the raids, finally ended up getting 1,000 Voices in Anarchy and Terabra, what then?
Yeah, what is there to accomplish?
What next? Because at that point, there's really no point in playing. You get all the god rolls you want, you get the weapons you like, and then it's over. Because
There's nothing to incentivize you at the point.
exactly, because at this current point in time, we'll talk about the future in a sec, but at this current point in time, there is after you get everything you want, not necessarily everything in the game, but specifically everything you want, everything you like and everything you want. Finally, there's nothing else holding you to the game.
Yeah, the only end game at that point is stuff against other people, pitting your gear against theirs.
Yeah,
And in that point, Destiny has kind of fallen back because
uh,
of all of the cheaters that are out there right now.
yeah.
They're even like going into regular 6v6, like Control, and just going and doing their crazy stuff. Whoops.
I couldn't stun him for some reason.
Yeah, I missed.
I can't stun him.
Using the pistol?
Yeah, it's it's
Yeah, the
unstoppable.
pistol it doesn't really work. I've tried.
It was working for me.
Well, it doesn't work on ogres.
That's weird. It should.
It it should work, but it doesn't. Another valid point to mark up to Destiny at the moment.
Things that work, things that should work but don't. Destiny. Yeah. But yeah, there's just a lot.
There's a slew of problems with this game right now.
Yeah. Because for one,
Which is a shame, because I love the game so much.
same here. If it wasn't the past two seasons, specifically Season of Dawn and the Season of the Worthy, I would if anybody would ask me after Season of Undying or during Season of Undying, is Destiny good right now? I would say yes, 100%. Play it. Get Shadowkeep, get Season of Undying, and I can tell you right now, Destiny's in the best place it's ever been. But after okay, Season of Dawn was cool. Season of the Worthy, it took all the worst things about that season and made that the main focus. With a PvP mode that was requested but done incorrectly.
Yeah, it was half-baked. Like,
Yeah,
people are not going flawless. They're farming those 3 wins and then just resetting. Which,
exactly.
yeah, that's just a whole nother problem in itself.
Because if you go to any YouTube channel, they have at least one video talking about why there's no reason to go flawless. You go on
Yeah,
any
the rewards
stream,
aren't worth it, which
yeah,
applies to other things as well.
exactly.
I mean, look at the Nightfalls. The reason why we're doing this is not because we want the weapons that they actually give. It's because we want the materials that they actually generate for us.
Well, and see,
Enhancement prisms.
in a way, that makes things really good for Nightfalls. Because, like, you don't have to go for the loot, but there's something to go for, right? And you're guaranteed something if you do well. But in Trial and things like Trials and other things that aren't as rewarding as they should be, specifically like ranking up in Glory and other things like that, there isn't much incentive to like do it or like complete it. Like with the going flawless thing, once you go flawless, you get that emblem. You get the 2 emblems. You get maybe a weapon and an armor piece, and then that's it. That's it. There's no special weapons like in Destiny 1.
There's no
that's just
adept
it. Yeah, the adept. For those that don't know, adept weapons gave the weapons that you get from trials. It gave them a elemental affinity. Um, did we not get platinum?
No,
Wait.
I got rewards.
I only got enhancement cores or enhancement.
Yeah, I
shards.
got enhancement cores and an enhancement prism.
Oh, you got enhancement prisms?
Yep.
I didn't get any.
Oh, well, sucks for you.
Interesting. That's weird.
I got it.
Thought it applies to as well. Anyway, but yeah, there's just not a lot of incentive to do certain things, and of course, people are gonna find the quickest way and the quickest workaround to be able to get what they want faster, and that's not how you're supposed to play the game. Sure, of course, you want like optimal ways to do things and um, like to make things a little quicker and more efficient, but it's not meant for you to just bypass everything and go the complete easiest route with minimal effort. There still has to be some form of effort. It's just, maybe not as excruciating. And that's the current
Put a spec in.
yeah, that's the current problem with Destiny 2. I can't.
Send it to me.
Let me try. Yeah, that's the current problem with Destiny 2. There's no reason to do anything the right way. There's no reason to do anything completely, and it's killing the game, essentially, because Trials of Osiris was supposed to bring a lot of people back for this season. It was the main pull point, and it did. It brought a lot of people, but it also attracted the wrong crowd. And it was talked about. There are many videos, specifically Aztec Cross. He talked about how it brought in a lot of hackers, and it was going to bring in a lot of hackers. Like, even before, like, when it was announced, there was talk about how it's going to be a bad idea because it's going to bring in a lot of hackers. Let me leave the fire team. The fact that it was going to bring in a lot of hackers, and it did. And it not only messed up the fundamentals of the game, but it also messed up the reason to even step in to Trials of Osiris.
Yeah, at that point, the only people that can actually like compete with the hacking, because it is possible to destroy the hackers.
Oh, 100%.
But it's super hard. As a result, that left only the elite of the elite to battle against them. So that meant mostly streamers and such.
Yeah, and even then, like, they're not even bothering going any higher than 3 wins. Not only because there's, like, barely any rewards for going flawless, but they don't want to fight hackers.
People of their skill level. Either.
Yeah, they also don't want to
just
sweat.
Hackers. They don't want to sweat. They want to take it easy, like the rest of us.
And the funny thing is, right, that a lot of streamers and content creators said that trials should be for the best of the best, sweatiest of the sweat, and which is 100% fine and understandable. But then, when they don't want to experience that, it's kind of like, what are you doing? And make up your mind.
Yeah, that's just hypocritical at that point.
It is 100%.
Yeah, people have ideals until it affects them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my viewpoint on things. It's just like, if your ideals are pointless if you don't back them up with actual action.
Yes. Like, if you want difficult content, don't complain about it afterwards because it's too hard.
Yeah.
Like, it was the same thing when people requested skill-based matchmaking. Now, if you look in, like, comments and, like forums and stuff like that, or Reddit, you're just going to see how terrible skill-based matchmaking is. I think skill-based matchmaking is a great thing.
Yeah, it puts you against people of your skill level, so that makes it always challenging. Always something that you have to strive for, something you have to work for.
See,
but people want to take it easy and just grind out the cannon fodder.
Yeah, they don't want to have a hard time. They want to, pop off and just destroy noobs because it's fun, when that's not what it's about. Sure, this game is a fun game. There's a lot of things about it that are fun, like a lot of exotics and everything.
By the way, let's take out that witch.
Yeah,
it's pissing me off.
Like a lot of exotics and things like that. But when you play PvP, when you play competitive, sorry. When my uncle walked in with a mask after he came home from work. Sorry, it caught me off guard.
Like, who are you?
Oh, that is funny.
Wearing the regular medical thing.
No, but anyway,
who made him?
Somebody made him.
What was I saying?
They say who made him?
His wife. She made him.
That kind of derailed me too, man. He
Um,
just stopped and Flynn started laughing.
They can't keep you
yeah,
safe.
that was pretty funny.
Anyways, so
Um,
yeah, the content creators are getting like pissed off about like
yeah,
skill-based
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They're getting upset about stuff they asked about, and like
Yeah,
the thing is, I honestly believe I know like we'll get burned at the stake for that. Like if like anybody like full on like actually heard and like cared about what we were talking about 99% of the time, we would get burned at the stake for specifically saying we actually like skill-based matchmaking, and here's why. Because people don't want to try anymore, like we've been saying. People don't want
people are lazy.
to. Yeah, exactly. They don't want to put in the work. They just want to, you know, get the kills, do really well, but then not have to like work 100% for it. And it's very odd to
Wow.
say, but it's true because the same people that are complaining for it are the same people that asked for skill-based matchmaking. And now that they experienced it for themselves, they don't like it because that means they have to fight people at their quote unquote supposed skill level. And
Yeah,
they don't
and
want
then
to
the
do that.
people that are not at the skill level they're supposed to be at because they've been stomped on so hard.
Yeah. And it's
Or the
sad.
people that went the other way and inflated all of their like stats and stuff, and are now contending at the skill level that they said they were,
Yep,
but instead they were just farming off other people.
exactly. And then it runs into a problem. Well, actually, before I get into that, the downside, the opposite side of the coin, where things are supposed to work but they don't, is with skill-based matchmaking. You fight against people you're supposed to be fighting against, but you don't get paired up against with people that you're supposed to be paired up with. People of your skill level usually don't play with you, and it's a problem that I've been having. I don't know about Needle Nine. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing when you solo
No, I
queue.
totally get you. Like, when I was going for like my try to gain levels in Mythic
Uh huh.
for competitive, I was paired up with the dude that was not ready for that skill level. And as a result, we lost because it's a 3v survival type, and he just kept on dying. I kept on dying too, but I was at least was taking out at one or two enemies before I went down. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
he just looked at the enemy and died every single time, which I understand. I've been there. I've done that
Same.
too. All of us have, I think, at this point.
At one point,
But
yeah.
then it's just like, okay, you probably should have been like a little bit lower, or maybe this is your first time stepping in. I don't know. But then, I don't know. The skill-based system is kind of
See,
wonky.
if it was their first time stepping in, that wouldn't make sense because then they wouldn't be mythic.
True.
But then that also begs the question: are you getting paired up with with mythic players?
That's another good question. Who knows?
Because
Maybe, maybe not.
there's honestly no way to tell. If that was the case, they would be at a similar skill level, just like the people you're fighting. Because in theory, on paper,
Okay.
you're fighting and you're paired up with people that are supposed to be in that rank, right? Like that's the whole point of
It
the
just makes that's logic.
exactly that's the whole point of skill-based matchmaking. You're up against people you're supposed to be fighting, and you're paired up against people you're supposed to be with. But that is not the case. You're fighting. Sure, it works on the correct side of the spectrum where you're fighting against people you're supposed to be fighting, but then
Ow, 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 ow.
but then you're paired up with people that seem like they're not even supposed to be there.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Maybe they had a
I,
bad day at work. Maybe
yeah,
they're super tired. They've been trying, like, grinding this for the last who knows how many hours,
who
or
knows?
what have you. There's a whole slew of problems that could be as a result
Sure.
of that condition. But still, like,
They come in a pack of five.
the amount of times I've been paired with a like quote unquote garbage teammate is kind of staggering.
You can get three. You can minimum.
Yeah, it's just
Oh my god, that's
the
funny.
they need to fix matchmaking as a whole.
Yeah,
See, because
it's not great because another time they they pair me with people that aren't there. Like
yeah,
I've been in matches where I spawn in like supposedly it's like it's like 12 people are playing in this game. Well, it's actually 11 people and one side is unbalanced. Well, when I'm doing competitive, when it's a 3v3 and one person's missing,
Uh-huh.
that's a big problem.
Oh, it's 100%.
Because now the person I'm with is most likely gonna leave me alone and just take the hit so he can, like, get back to his score as soon as possible.
Yeah,
So
because
I'm just sitting there alone against an entire team who then proceeds to teabag me.
I was about to say, yeah, that's more of a problem for you than it is for me, 100%. Because I don't experience that portion of the spectrum. I don't play a lot of competitive, not anymore, because of just how things happen recently.
Yeah, exactly. How? Yeah, just
But there's see that's a problem that has been persistent even before, like Not Forgotten came
this
out and
current
everything.
season.
Yeah, like the matchmaking has always been really bad, whether it's connection based or skill based. Like there's no Destiny doesn't have it. Like whatever is good matchmaking, just Destiny just doesn't have it, and they used to, but they just don't have it. There's no in between.
Yep.
But I honestly think the
Pick up the
best
eyeball.
I honestly think the best route is skill based matchmaking. It's just I don't think they figured out how to do it exactly yet. Because there's still like glitches in the system where you'll get paired up with people who aren't in your skill bracket, and it shows. Like if anybody has played any PvP recently, I did this specifically this season or last season, it's very apparent, or any season in general, it's very apparent. They haven't figured it out yet, and like people thought that bringing trials was gonna fix PvP, and it didn't because there's still no incentive to play trials unless you're that good where you're able to get 3 wins consistently and you don't have any issues. You don't have any issues going you don't have any issues going flawless, let alone getting 3 wins and being able to farm tokens. Like that's really the only incentive.
Beside the point. Yeah,
That-
we know we're at the skill level where we can actually get 3 wins, but then there's like a whole slew of problems that we've been facing that like it's just not feasible at the moment.
No. And the reason is because, once again, we're facing people we're not supposed to be facing. Because they've reset their card who knows how many times. And even though we're supposed to be fighting people who haven't gone flawless because, they're on their first match, quote unquote, we're not fighting those
The
people.
population is consisted of hyper elite players and cheaters. That's like the only people that are currently in there right now. All the casual players left like weeks ago.
Yeah, probably like maybe 3 weeks in.
Yep.
And it's sad because I was really looking forward to Trials of Osiris.
Yeah,
And
so was I.
when it turned out to be this mess that it is right now, it just made me it ruined the rest of the season for me. Because that was going to be the main focus for the season for me.
And it still is. Like nothing else has happened in this season.
Exactly. And it's just ruined it for me now. Because Guardian Games is probably going to be something very similar to this other spring event that we had. Because, it's a spring event, right? So it's going to be probably very similar. We're going to get double XP bounties. We're going to do that. We're going to reach rank 100 in our thing. We're going to level up our artifacts. And that's going to be it. We're going to get those. Probably going to get the event armor, get the event accessories, whatever. And then that's it. And then that part of the season is done. We might have a secret quest or two that might make it actually really fun and really cool. And then we get whatever that is. And then the rest of the season is just going to be trash. Unless they add something else. Because like, with the way things are, and from what I've seen, because there have been a little bit of leaks talking about, a secret mission that might be coming, and an exotic that's coming during the event. But after you get the exotic, and after that little secret mission or whatever is done, what else is going to be there to do? Because there's no point in doing trials. Like that's the rest of the season. Like after we're done with the event and the secret mission or whatever, that's literally the rest of the season. And there's not going to be anything else left. So honestly, like if we, oh, I got a prism that time.
I
Honestly,
only got enhancement cores.
yeah, so did I. If if we completely ignore the Guardian Games event, which I'm probably going to only do a little bit of, other than grind bounties maybe, and maybe hopefully get the exotic, and then I'll be able to do the quest hopefully, the special quest afterwards.
Orbit, please.
Yeah, then that's gonna be it. Oh, you're a leader.
Oh, I forgot.
Um, but yeah, that would be it because there's no point in doing
What
trials.
exactly is Guardians games for those of you that don't know?
So Guardian Games is supposed to be this, class event where it's every class versus the other, and you try to get points, deposit motes into like the statue thing in the tower, and it levels up, and then the winner is supposed to get this exotic. It's called the Heir Apparent. Um, it hasn't been announced, but there's a lot of talk about it. There's a lot of there's renders and icons and even a an ornament for it already. It's an exotic heavy machine gun that is the same weapon that Valista Arc used back in Destiny 1, or it's very similar. Um, it's a slow firing one, but apparently it ramps up, I guess.
So it's like kind of a ramped up version of Skyburner's Oath.
Sort of, perhaps a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
So it's another reskin.
Yeah. Well, no, not actually. No, it actually looks fairly decent, different. It looks pretty cool. But that's supposed to be the reward for the winner. But I assume just like how the Arbalists ended up being a world drop, I'm pretty sure it'll become a world drop too for the class that doesn't get it. And then afterwards, there is a leak and a rumor about a quest where we go to Fellwinter's Peak and we do this special mission on Vostok. And
I got annihilated.
there's a people are predicting that we might get Fellwinter's Lie, the legendary shotgun from Destiny 1 back in Iron Banner. Got eliminated. So
You got eliminated.
I got
Is that what
eliminated.
you said?
Yep. So that's the
What is this,
prediction,
trials?
right? So that's that's what people are predicting that's going to happen after the Guardian Games event is over. And I don't know if that'll be enough to hold me. Like I'll do what I can for Guardian Games, and I'll do and hopefully we get the exotic gun. And then I'll be able to do the new special quest thing that'll happen afterwards. That'll be fun to do. You'll most likely see us doing it together because we'll be doing it day of, which is probably going to be on a Tuesday, like most things. So we'll be doing that. But after that,
Question.
there's
What
not much
year did
else.
Destiny 1 come out?
2014?
So we've been at this for 6 years now?
6 years, yeah.
We've been through a lot.
Yeah,
This
we've
is
been.
probably the worst since, I don't know, Curse of Osiris?
I would say so, because right now, 'cause it's like everybody's talking about how like this is probably the biggest lull state Destiny's ever been in, across
Yeah.
Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and Destiny 1 has had some pretty heavy lull states.
House of Wolves?
Well,
Pretty bad one.
literally after Taken King, while we were waiting for Rise of Iron, it was nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
And then after Rise of Iron, there was nothing either.
I mean,
So-
yeah, well, that was the last one.
True.
They were just waiting for Destiny 2 to come out at that point.
Well, true. We had like stuff to look forward to. But yeah, we've been through a lot in this game.
Yeah, we've been through a lot, man.
Now I guess we can start looking towards the future. Because we would talk more about trials, but like we're saving that for Saturday.
Yeah, I could go on. I have so many things.
So
that
can I,
Kind of,
my
I've only
friends.
kind of touched a briefest part of it.
So can I. I have my own personal gripes with Trials of Osiris
That's a
right now.
rant.
Yeah, that's a whole rant saved for after our final time in Trials on Saturday.
Uh huh.
So, looking towards the future, in this point, we're going to talk about what we hope is going to improve and be added, and then
Oh God.
we're going to talk about what they can do to improve the current state of the game. Because of course they've already talked about a few things that they can plan on improving with trials and a few other things, but there are some things that also aren't being talked about right now that need to be addressed. So let's start with you. What are your hopes for the future for Destiny 2?
Well, realistically, the problem with the cheaters is not going to be solved this year.
Unfortunately,
Realistically,
yeah,
like I
there's
think
no
it
true
took
way.
them like other games like CS:GO and like Siege. Or I think even now it's not like completely
I was
cheater
about to say, yeah,
free.
there's even CS:GO
They
specifically
just
is
made
still
it
dealing
like
with
a
cheaters.
manageable level.
Yeah,
Now, what they could do with all the cheaters is do what they did in Titanfall and have a dedicated server to cheaters. That's a very genius way to actually get rid of them.
interesting.
Just have them designated in what is essentially hell, where it's a server of only cheaters.
That's kind of funny actually.
Yeah, no, and effective.
Yeah, but I feel like for
Then there's this
Destiny,
thing that Asset Cross was talking about, having a paywall, which makes a lot of sense, but won't stop them. They'll just ramp up their prices, honestly.
I mean, I feel like it would stop a lot of them though.
It would help, but
It
it
would
won't
help out
stop
a lot.
anything.
At least I think so.
So yeah. So what what I want is irrelevant. It's what needs to be done, honestly. I don't have a solution. There's no like easy way out of this, honestly. From like a game developer's point of view, they need to like disincentivize certain people, but keep the rest of them incentivized, which is a very hard balance to keep. So it's just they're so it's they're running on a razor's edge at all times, and trying to keep up with all of it all at once is daunting. Plus, there's the fact that we're currently in lockdown in the United States, so that's not helping things. The giant meetings they would normally have for this kind of thing, or what I imagine they would have for this kind of a thing,
Uh-huh.
are gone. They have to do it all via over a smaller bandwidth. And then there's going to be lag and people that can't make it because of internet issues
Uh-huh.
and so on and so forth. So that is going to slow things down even more. Yeah, it's going to get worse in my mind.
100%.
Of course, my opinion is that things will always be worse unless proven otherwise. Um, my outlook has always been grim first, happy later. And I keep my expectations low for this kind of thing because if I'm right, hey, I expected it. If I'm wrong, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a mentality I have. So, yeah, like I said, it's not really what I want, it's just things that need to be done. Whatever they may be, whatever form they come in.
That's pretty fair. And then for me, I would say there are a few things I want first and foremost. I want them to just fix the matchmaking. I want them, no, well,
Well, we've been talking about that for years.
yeah. But like that's always going to be my main thing is improve the matchmaking. Like, cause I don't think you can fully fix the matchmaking because fixing it is very
No,
well.
I don't think
It's on perspective
it's beyond fixing, in
at
my
this
opinion.
point. Yeah.
You can only get it to where it's like, I don't know, tolerable and
Yeah.
like functional, but I don't think it's gonna be fixed.
100%. See now, it other than matchmaking, which I always say, especially for our seasonal roundups, I always have an issue with matchmaking. I will never be satisfied with the matchmaking until there's actual improvements to it. Feels bad. until there's like actual improvements to the matchmaking itself, I will always have gripes with the matchmaking. Um, but what I want to see for next season is a balanced focus for the game in general. Because if you have a heavy PvP focused season, you're going to lose a lot of people. If you have a Gambit focused season like they did, you're going to lose a lot of people. If you have a PvE focused season, you're going to lose a lot of people because then people will complain that, oh, um, can you finally do something with PvP? And then they do something with PvP, focus a whole season on it, and then the PvE is going to have nothing to do. And then Gambit has the best of both worlds, so they don't really necessarily count. They have their own thing already. And unless they add to Gambit somehow to make it relevant, like there will be,
Yeah, it is currently a dead playlist.
yeah,
The only people that are still in there are trying to get titles. Like again, your point of checking things off
Yeah.
the box.
it's the whole checklist thing all over again.
Yeah.
But the I want to see a more balanced focus next season. I don't want it to be too heavy in PvE, although I am a huge fan of PvE. I want a reason to do PvP as well, and I don't want the reason to be because I need to do it for an exotic quest, because that has happened many times before, and I'm so sick and tired of that.
Yeah,
I-
they're literally just replaying their greatest hits over and over and over again.
Yeah,
It was cool the first 5 or 6 times we did it in Destiny 1.
sure.
By the time we're in Destiny 2, we're like, okay, it's another quest. How are they going to do this time differently this time?
And although it's somewhat different, you still have to get void kills for the thorn.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is just an homage to the original, but the original was terrible
Yeah.
in terms of that. For hunters, when I did it, the only way I could do it was energy weapons. And
Yeah.
I had to find the ammo for that every single time. Because that's how it was back then.
But
There
yeah,
was no void subclass for hunters.
that's true. But yeah, my main point is that like I want it to be balanced all across the board. I want an even focus on PvE and PvP. I don't want either to suffer, even though that probably won't happen, unfortunately, because with Bungie being what they are right now, they have limited resources. Even before the current worldly situation, they were low on resources because they left Activision. Now, that is a
Yeah.
good thing, but in the short term, it's terrible because now they have very little to work with. And it's not like they're going to change the seasonal model because that's what they already have in place. So I think if we're going to see a balanced season, it might be like the last one, or it will be next year. And honestly, I don't know if Destiny 2 is going to survive next year unless they bring something like incredible for season 11.
To be fair, though, based on the whole pandemic thing, yeah, the world is changing.
Yeah,
The actual real world is changing.
true.
Things will be different. It'll be close to the same, but it's not going to be the same.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, yeah. Times are changing. I got a grub in my hand.
But yeah, another thing I want to see happen is just I had it in my head, but I forgot. I mean, other than what's like been announced already for like changes happening, I just want to see. You know what? You know what I want to see. Do you remember back in Destiny? Wait, did you play Age of Triumph for Destiny 1?
I did a little bit of it. I wasn't able to do much with it.
Okay, so for those of you that didn't play Destiny 1, and back in Destiny 1, at the ends, it send off. They had this whole Age of Triumph thing after the Iron. I forgot what it was called. Rise of Iron season ended, Um, they had this thing called Age of Triumph where they celebrated Guardians, and they redid all the raids, and they made like each one on a weekly rotating playlist thing, and each one had like the top gear. Like you could do all of them still, but like if you wanted your powerful rewards or your pinnacle gear, if we're talking about Destiny 2 terms, for that week, you did the weekly raid. You did the challenges and everything. Uh, and that's kind of what I want for Destiny 2. I want them to have a weekly rotating raid. That way, some of the really good raids and fun raids aren't just left out like they are now. Because the only raid worth running right now, currently, is Garden of Salvation. And that raid isn't even really fun. Because also, and like also the rewards you get aren't even for every slot. They don't have Garden of Salvation doesn't have a power weapon. When Last Wish and Leviathan and Spire of Stars, Eater of Worlds, there's a few others that have a weapon for every slot that can be an upgrade, but yet the only one we have for this year is Garden of Salvation, and I've done it quite a bit with the group and without the group, and it's not fun 5 times later when people keep messing up. Not specifically our group, but like if I were to use pugs or LFGs, they say they know what they're doing and then they don't. Stuff like that. But that's a person issue and an LFG issue. But the raid itself isn't exactly fun. And when you're trying to get your pinnacle gear to, to the pinnacle cap, which is 1010 currently at the time of this recording, it sucks when if the only thing you're missing is a powerful weapon, is a power weapon or kinetic. When the only kinetic is a bow and a pulse rifle that you don't get until the final boss. So
yeah,
like
bows are dead here.
Yeah, we'll talk about weapons and what they need to improve on weapons in a sec. That'll be next. But
Ooh, third spiral.
the I just wish they would make some old content, not all of it, but some old content relevant. Like because there are raids I actually enjoy. I really enjoy the Leviathan trilogy, except for Spire of Stars. I hate that one with a passion. And
I haven't done that one.
I will say it every single time. I don't like it. I don't like the way it plays. It's also one of the glitchiest ones. But
was our bud trying to make a run for it?
I have no idea. But
by the way, his name is Lord Timur Enhanced.
I love it.
That's actually pretty funny. I think that's canon.
I think so too. Oh, my warm myself all up. Feels bad. But yeah, I just wish they would make old raids relevant, because that would get people to do them and teach people and all that fun and excitement. They could even add like little challenges to make it like harder or interesting, which would be just as fine. But they haven't, and I don't know why they don't, because that was an excellent idea back in Destiny 1, and they took that away, like a lot of things. I really miss doing Leviathan, the first Leviathan. I think it's one of the best raids. Well, not one of the best. Last Wish is one of the best raids I've ever done. But Leviathan is one of the most memorable ones for me, because it's the one I've taught the most. I know it like the back of my hand. I can explain it to anybody. They may not get it right away, but I can explain it to anybody.
Give me the one sentence synopsis.
You fight Callus.
Okay.
You didn't say with any detail in the sentence. I just the main crux. You fight Callus in the end. It turns out you're not actually fighting Callus.
That's 2 sentences. You fail.
Dang it. No, but
Anyway. But yeah, like it's an interesting little thing, and at the end of it, you're like, huh?
yeah, and like a lot of people miss it. A lot of people miss that because a lot of people never did it since they didn't
Yeah,
jump
from
in.
what I know of the Last Wish raid, that seems like an interesting raid.
The Last
Like it
Wish is
actually has.
incredible, dude.
Yeah,
I've
like
done it 3 times. Holy crap, it's incredible. It is
Yeah.
one of the best raids.
And yet it's not really being used aside from a means to get Last Wish. Or sorry, 1,000 Voices.
Or the weapons, because some of the weapons are still really good.
Oh, right.
Like I see a lot of them used in PvP. Specifically the auto rifle and the pulse rifle.
Uh,
Or
Chattering Bones and what's the other one? Gnawing Hunger?
not Gnawing Hunger, yeah.
Uh,
No, Age Old Bond. That's what it is called.
oh, Age of. Okay, no.
Gnawing Hunger is from Reckoning.
Drifter, yeah.
Also, they need to make Reckoning a little bit more relevant now. I want a reason other than to just get spare rations. Which apparently is in rotation this week. What's Reckoning? It's
I haven't played that since Season of the Drifter.
Oh boy, well, it's this fun game mode that they created revolving around exotics that were too strong.
Yep, they created it specifically with the exotics' broken functions in mind. So now, it's virtually unplayable.
Yeah, so
Not to mention, the rewards you get are specifically designed for Gambit Prime, which no one plays because no one plays regular Gambit.
Well, unless you're talking about the weapons, because the grenade launcher
Themselves are amazing.
and the grenade launcher and the auto rifle and the hand cannon are some of the best in the game.
Precisely. But it's not used for the intended purposes of what it was designed for.
Correct. But yeah, they need to revamp that mode. They need to redo that mode, like completely, to where like it's built for our current Guardian state, not the overpowered state we used to be in.
Honestly, I think they just should reboot the game.
We'll see if they
Go
do
for
that, and
Destiny
they're gonna
3.
delete all of our things again, and that's what people don't want.
Well, how does the game work?
I mean, it's the same argument of it'll be literally the same thing as the weapon retirement thing that they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people
So
don't.
what's the difference?
That's why people don't necessarily want a Destiny 3.
But they're doing it anyways. It's just in a different way to keep the same broken systems that they have.
And the funny thing is, even though they'll retire quote unquote weapons, you can still use them. You just can't level them up.
Yeah.
Which is fine because then you can always use breakneck in areas that don't require power, which is fine.
I mean, I'm using breakneck right now.
Exactly. But yeah, like there's just they need to revamp Reckoning, and 2, they need to bring up old content to make it relevant, because doing Garden of Salvation is not the most fun thing in the world. I can think of other things to do than that. And some of them aren't playing Destiny, and it shows. So yeah. That's what I want. Other things I can't really think of right now. I had some in my head, but like I forgot some of them. But those are the main ones. Now let's talk about the weapon issue. So for those that don't know, there's a lot of, like, later on in the future, probably next year, at least from what they are planning to do, things might change and are subject to change since it's not currently available yet. They plan on retiring weapons, like old weapons other than exotics. That way, people can use new weapons and, find new favorites and stuff like that, which I personally think is okay.
And I disagree.
Well, it's not the most perfect thing, but I think it's okay.
I mean, nothing's perfect.
Exactly. And you can't please everybody,
Hmm.
unfortunately. But, there are upsides and downsides to that. The downside, which is the downside that everybody's talking about, is they want to keep using the old reliable, the thing that they've been using for
Ever.
all 4 years, all 5 years of Destiny
All 5
2.
years.
Well, yeah, the all 5 years of
They've
Destiny
been
2.
using it since the beta.
Oh yeah, that too. Um, but that also creates a problem of balancing. But then,
They still have balancing issues currently.
yeah, exactly. But like the main reason why people want to hold on to their stuff is because there's no incentive to use any newer stuff. I mean, specifically, one huge example is in this season, the weapons that you get, other than from Charles of Osiris, which are nearly impossible to get now,
Mm-hmm.
they're not great. They're just not great. Like the hand cannon you get from the IO bunker, it's not even meta. They could have at least made it a 150 hand cannon, or even a 140 or a 110. I would use it. 110s are decent. They're alright. But at 180,
Well,
nobody's using a 180. No one in their right mind is using a 180, unless you absolutely have to. If you look in PvP right now, the most used hand cannon is spare rations. What is it? 150. Or the other one that's also highly used is Dire Promise. What is it? 150. The other one, old fashioned, is 140. Ostrander is 140. The only
yeah, I can only
exception,
have one of the old-fashioned in my pocket.
exactly. The only exception, the literal only exception, is the Duke with 110. That's the only exception. So yeah, that's what they plan on doing. But I just hope that with their plans, they're gonna bring out good new weapons with fun new perks. That's all I want. That's all I want to see out of that.
We'll always manage somehow, but
Exactly. We'll manage somehow, but like
yeah, that's not
currently,
really the issue.
it's really iffy. But so now let's talk about balancing right now and what should be buffed and what isn't and what hasn't been touched for like the longest time. Shot. Okay, it's no surprise that shotguns are a problem in Destiny 2. As much as you use them and like them,
They've been a problem.
yeah, I was about to say, anybody can agree, unless you're heavily biased towards them, and unless you actually like full on like shotguns, anybody can tell you that like shotguns are a problem in Destiny 2. Because they're killing at ranges they shouldn't, and the way people are using them are like
I ran out of ammo.
very strange. Well, that's surprising. Very strange, and they're just really easy to use.
Too easy.
A little too easy. So much to where it's literally the only choice, and if you use anything else, what are you doing? It's like, why use anything else for it? Like what are you doing? Hey, Bri, thank you for the bits. That's one thing. I'm pretty sure that there isn't much to say about shotguns other than the fact that like they need to change something about that. The shotguns right now are way too strong.
Ow. Good luck.
And oh.
Don't die.
I'm trying
You're the
to.
last one alive.
Sure. Waiting.
Revive me!
He'll be fine.
as you go flying.
Uh-huh. Okay. But yeah, other than that, I think hand cannons are in a pretty decent place. They just need to improve the other hand cannons to make them all viable instead of just 150s. Because
I win.
although I enjoy 150s, and I enjoy spare rations and uh, dire promise and the sorts, I don't enjoy the fact that that's all I see.
Why am I burning?
I want more variety of weapons being used, but since things aren't balanced, we're only going to see one or two types of weapons being used.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, it's a great segue into why Hard Light is the terrible monster that it is right now. Not terrible in the fact that it does no damage, it's terrible in the fact that it's too strong. It's
So it went
literally
from
too
like
strong.
harmless little tickle gun in like, the first year to no one uses it to oh my god, what is this thing? So yeah, it's okay, so first of all, the main perk behind it is that it doesn't have any damage drop off at range.
I almost had a God roll interference 6, but the only problem is I didn't have spike grenades. It came with clown cartridge and full cork.
Hmm,
Clown cartridge, reloading this
I know it
weapon
does.
random.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Bro, if this would have rolled with spike grenades, oh my god. Anyway, continue.
So yeah, first of all, it has no damage drop off at range, which is kind of huge for an auto rifle. But initially, it had so much recoil that no one could handle it at range. So there was no point. Everyone just kind of like hip fired from close range. The fact that it can change damage types is gimmicky and just irrelevant. It's a cute little trick. It's a quirk. It's not really relevant to much of anything. I think they intended it to be used in Nightfalls, maybe.
I don't know, dude.
I
I'm gonna
think they
be
intended it
honest.
for it to be like a like PVE weapon, but it's not.
Whatever it is, it wasn't it.
So then it got like dismantled. No one used it, and we never saw it again. Only the novices would pull it out in PvP and then realize, oh, this thing's crap. Let me just get rid of this.
Yep.
Then after a while, auto rifles received a buff last season, or at the start of this season. Well, before then, Hardlight got a buff itself, where it had a lot less recoil. And this was during the meta where everyone was using precision-based weapons like scout rifles and sniper rifles and hand cannons and what have you. So it was like, okay, this is kind of a weird like time for that to get a buff, but it's whatever. So it made it viable. So then during that meta, it was viable. But then during this season, all scatter projectile weaponry, so the the submachine guns, the auto rifles, the sidearms, all of those got a focus. So then they all received a buff in one shape or form, and most of them got an increase in stability. So that means the stability on Hardlight was amazingly good to the point where you could shoot people at range, like sniper rifle range, and hit them on target. And because it has zero drop off in terms of damage at range, it can then compete with anyone at any range. Now, one of its other intrinsic perks is that all of those shots it fires off can ricochet with no damage drop off. So, you get a tight close quarters map like this, and then it absolutely annihilates everyone because all you have to do is just hip fire
Anybody see the
in
problem
order
yet?
to do all of the damage to everyone forever. Couple that with the catalyst, and suddenly you have a god destroying weapon. Doesn't matter who you are. the most novice of players can suddenly kill the most elite of players.
And then they think they're so good after that.
Yeah, and then they get their ego boosted, and then they go into competitive, and then get, more kills, and they keep going, and then they go into trials, and then they get stomped on.
Or they completely destroy.
Or that, or the everyone, or it gets to the point that everyone's using it, so you can't hide from it, and it's literally just spray and win. Not even pray anymore. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It's almost a guarantee.
You just hold down the trigger and you're good.
Yeah, you just hold down the trigger and win. So.
And if you're good at like figuring out like geometry and
Yeah,
like
if you're good at
bouncing
geometry,
stuff,
yeah.
you're a monster. Figure out how the bouncing works, and you're set literally for the rest of the match.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Mess them up.
Too steep.
So yeah. Ah, God, hard light.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm pretty sure they had good intentions with it. Just like a lot of these things.
They did. Well, to quote an old movie, sometimes the worst things imaginable can happen under the best of intentions.
I believe it.
So yeah. I believe that was in response to a dude stealing raptor eggs and trying to take them off an island.
Interesting.
Jurassic Park 3.
Of course. But yeah, it just
It was just death spiral.
it's just too
Which
strong.
seems to be a common theme these days.
Yeah. But yeah, the gun itself is just too strong now. So see, you know it's a problem when it's the only weapon viable.
Yeah.
Like
It
literally,
is currently the meta of hard light.
like literally, unless you have decent roll, unless you have trials weapons like specifically the summoner or Astral Horizon, you're not using anything else. You're literally not using. Well, like even if you don't have the summoner, if you have Astral Horizon, you're probably still using hard light. And that's just a fact because Astral Horizon
Yeah,
is a kinetic weapon.
Kinetic,
Exactly.
which means you can couple it. And I've faced off against those people in trials with you guys.
Yep. 100%. And it sucks. Because there shouldn't be... See, the problem Destiny has, or has had for like the past couple of seasons, is people default to...
worm.
People default to one weapon or one loadout. And
Yeah, they default to the meta.
yeah,
Whatever
and
that is.
one specific issue that was really rampant in season 9 was mindbenders and spare rations. Everybody hated it because you couldn't do anything against it. You were outranged by spare rations, and then up close you were out damaged by mindbenders. Because if you had quick draw on that, you were good. It was free, and that's a problem. That also comes with balancing and how bad Bungie is at it.
Are we the only 2 people?
No? Yes? Yes.
Oh, lovely.
What's that thing?
Wait, our explosion climax joined. What does that even mean? I just saw that text pop up on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you doing?
I accidentally
Need your
joined.
damage.
Sorry. But yeah, they just really need to. They need help.
They need help.
They just need help.
And they're so concerned about people using old weapons and not trying out the new stuff. And they're gonna be like getting rid of the old stuff. That's essentially creating a new game. That's like there's no difference between that and starting over, like
I
what they did for
mean, it, it,
Destiny 2.
it's less creating a new game and more like a soft reboot without completely making the whole new game.
Well, they're getting rid of the stuff that people like and then leaving the stuff people hate, like the matchmaking system.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, they're leaving the worst parts. I'm what?
it's
Uh,
very backwards.
Another example of what is wrong.
Also, all the beaver errors and all the errors and
Oh, hey there, we have a friend.
all the errors and everything.
Hmm.
The
They're
whole
getting rid of
infrastructure is
our
really bad.
guns and leaving all of the errors in.
Essentially, it's really bad. All I'm saying is, for
Sure, we'll adapt to the new like weapons and stuff, but they're leaving all the horrible problems untouched.
yeah, like they're not fixing the issues.
Yeah, if your table has a wonky leg, you don't go smacking the top of it with a hammer.
I need you to get in there. I need you to get in there and melee him.
Oh, right. Yeah, I missed. Alright,
Oh,
I hit.
I was about to say, he's all about to die then.
Well, that's because I have 2 knives.
Yeah. I'm dead though.
I know.
But yeah, that's basically the main issue Destiny's having right now.
Among many.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of this thing.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I'll carry.
Plus,
Wasn't there supposed to be, like, a dude here?
he might be up. Okay,
I'll deal with the thralls.
okay.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, the wanted son of Inatun, or whatever.
Yeah. So, despite how bad we're talking about Destiny right now, it is still currently one of my favorite games to this day.
Yeah, I'm still in. I'm in it for one specific reason: the story, the universe, not the gameplay.
I mean, the gameplay
Sure,
is
I'll
fun,
challenge
though.
myself anywhere I can, facing off against whatever challenges await me in whatever format.
Uh,
But yeah, I'm in it for the story, honestly, and whatever story we can create from all this mess. So yeah,
yeah.
there's always a story to tell, no matter what
Yo,
it's.
thank you for the 500 bits. Yeah, the only reason why I still enjoy this game is because the the gunplay feels good. The not necessarily the game modes, but like the story's really good. The lore is amazing. The characters are great, at least story wise. Uh, just a lot of things about the game are great, but the game itself is not in the best place right now, and it shows. I love War Mind Cells. Oh my god.
Got him.
But yeah, we absolutely love the game for what it is, not the game that it
Is.
is.
How succinctly put, my good sir.
We love Destiny. We don't love the game.
We love the universe. We don't like the game.
Yeah. If this was a different season, I would say this game is amazing.
I mean, we have said that before.
Exactly. Like there are times where like Destiny has been one of the best games I've ever played, but now it's just like I'm just playing it because it's my job every Tuesday and Friday.
Friday.
Well, Saturday, I mean, not Friday.
I was like, excuse you. You're playing the wrong game there.
Right.
So,
I play it because it's my job, and I
yeah.
should
We did.
I should want to be able to
Oh, you did.
play Destiny. But I feel like after this season, if it doesn't improve,
I'll save you, bro.
I might actually straight up take a break from Destiny 2. Because I think I'm starting to experience burnout, and that's what I don't want.
I'm dead.
Both of you are.
Live.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to experience burnout for Destiny 2, and that's unfortunate.
Again.
Well, not technically again. This would technically be the first time I've officially had burnout.
I've had burnout on many an occasion in Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah. But see, for me, like, I can play, if I really enjoy something, I can do it for a whole long time. Like, it's crazy how long I can keep going playing a game I actually really enjoy. As long as there's stuff
I
to
know
do.
the reason why for that. Well, that's a private discussion.
Yeah. But, if I don't, if I start to lose interest or I don't enjoy something, you'll see it. Just case in point. So, currently, I'm starting to feel that with Destiny 2, and it sucks because this is one of my favorite games, and
Immune.
it sucks to see it die so hard. Because currently, right now, it's dying. Unless they fix it for next season, because this season is pretty much dead.
Agreed.
Season's pretty much over. Other than what we might get for Guardian games and what we might get for the new quest or whatever that's coming after Guardian games is over, this season's over. 'Cause after that, there will be nothing left.
Got him.
Nice. And it's showing. And it sucks. I think I've
Yep.
said. I think I've said all I wanted to say. Do you have any more to say? Oh, enhanced sniper loader. Nice. Let's go. I got an enhanced
you got
mod.
it, Yeah, this Nightfalls actually give you.
They
like,
give enhanced
mods and
ones.
stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
If only
I
we
got
could
an
farm the
enhanced,
higher ones.
I got an enhanced sidearm targeting.
Nice, dude.
Oh yeah, that was a super.
That's a huge upgrade for you. Enhanced mod for sidearms, please. That's a huge
Yeah,
upgrade
I
for you.
currently don't have enough slots for it, but yeah, I have it.
Yeah, that'll be good later. That's a huge upgrade for you. Holy crap.
Particularly when I'm jumping around with my Icarus grip on translation theory.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm so glad I opened you up to that because Icarus Grip is like the dream.
Yeah, I know. I forgot about it. Like, I
It's
think
so
you told me
good.
forever ago.
It's
I
so good.
forgot.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's. Do you have anything left to say about it?
Well, we've been down this road before, I think. It'll come and it'll go, but it's gonna get a lot of people shook in various ways. That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
So, the only thing we can really do is stick out as long as we can.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're still gonna play this game.
Yeah, like, it's not gonna stop.
yeah, like because we're saying all this, but like in reality,
Yeah, we'll rant
unless
and rave and, like, pitch a tent
yeah,
in the
of
middle of
course,
the marketplace and protest or whatever.
yep,
And at the end of the day, we're just going to go and, buy food from that marketplace anyway.
exactly. Yeah, we're gonna get the
Because
next.
we
See,
love
like
it.
because we're gonna watch the trailer leading up to next season. We're gonna be like, oh, that's sick! I can't wait for that. I can't wait for all the new weapons and exotics. We're gonna play that season because we love the game. We love the story. We love the universe. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see where these things go.
Exactly.
Regardless of what happens, it is, like I keep saying, an interesting story. Everything is a story if you really think about it.
Exactly.
Nothing goes unnoticed. Nothing
Exactly.
goes unarchived. Somewhere, someone is thinking about this, and that is just an interesting process because this is part of their story now. It is a tale they have heard, and maybe it'll inspire them to do something in future.
I mean,
So maybe this game will eventually die. It's inevitable, but it'll inspire future generations to accomplish things.
plus like
So
so much
nothing
so that
ever
we have our
ends.
own story based off of our events
Exactly.
that happen in the game. Like
Yeah.
if
Nothing
that's
ever
not
ends.
if that's not an example, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You have a fully fleshed out like written story or typed up story
Exactly.
that's still going, that's still being made
Yeah, we're
based off of
making
what
it
we
as we
do.
talk.
Like this game, this universe in the game is incredible.
I mean,
It's
it's not
just
just us either. Like,
no.
think about the story behind Redrick's Claymore. That was based on a dude in real life. That was based off of a YouTuber, I think. And
Uh,
Bungie decided to like pretty much canonize it.
you're
That
thinking
was
of
how
something
that
else.
actually became true, huh?
You're thinking of something else.
Oh wait, what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of what the Jade Rabbit used to be
I
back in
think there's
Destiny
actually
1.
multiple different stories for this. Yeah, I think it was like Redrix was based off of one dude that said there should be competitive ranked, and then the Jade
Oh,
Rabbit was
that
its
one.
own thing.
That's right.
And then there was
Jade.
in Destiny 1 a another story about this one like patient that was like dying
Yeah,
of
that's the
cancer
one I was
or
thinking
something.
of. Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, there's multiple stories. It's not just ours. It's the communities. We've made things happen canonically.
Yeah, like the community itself is pretty decent as well. Like when we come together, we can do a whole bunch. I mean,
Yeah,
as a community, we've raised so much money for St. Jude. It's insane.
yeah.
Like there are like during Guardian Con, which is something that is made by a few Destiny content creators at the time, Destiny streamers at the time. They created their own convention for Destiny, and a whole bunch of other stuff, specifically revolving around St. Jude and like the donations towards that the
I
St.
knew.
Jude Fund in general. Also, right on me as
Warned
well.
you. I warned you.
Yeah, but yeah, like the community itself, like everything revolving around Destiny is incredible, literally incredible. But the game itself just isn't anymore, and I hope that changes. I really do, because I miss when this game was really fun. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can say the same thing.
Boom.
Oh, you can also shoot that.
Yeah.
Okay, so because you realize that like anything affected by that does like a butt ton of damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel free to shoot it as well.
I will continue to do so.
Okay, good.
I've been doing that since the season started.
Okay. Yeah, just shoot
Not
all
just
the
with
cells.
people too.
Yeah. Always be shooting cells if you see them. They do so much damage, holy crap. Also, like, one of the main problems with the season is, like, you know the season isn't great when one of the best things out of the season is the gimmick that is going away next season. The Warmind cells. They are incredibly strong.
Also, what are they for?
They're mainly just more ways to do damage.
Yeah, but why do we need that much damage output? What is the purpose?
We have there honestly in this season
It's for the
there
raid,
isn't one.
right? Yeah, so we can do a lot of damage to the boss during the raid. Or maybe a new like the new game type they added.
Which one?
Trials. Oh wait, that's PvP and it doesn't work for.
Oh wait, but what about that Seraph event? Oh wait,
Yeah, that's
that can be
Seraph.
done without that.
Yeah, the one where it's almost impossible to actually like get a whole bunch of people to play it.
Unless it's like the first week of that
Mm-hmm.
that bunker.
Yeah.
Now they're going to be on a rotation since we have all of them now
Yeah.
every week.
So,
But
what is the point of the favorite thing from this season?
I feel like a lot of these mods will carry over into next season,
Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
and hopefully it'll like be put to good use. Because I mean, the charged with light mods are still there.
No, that's true.
So I mean, there's that. But I feel
I,
like
I just had the feeling that this was like a setup for something, and we haven't seen what that something is.
yeah, I honestly believe well, cause like I don't know if you remember, but when they were talking about like year 3 and the new seasonal model that they're creating, they specifically talked about how season 11 is the one everybody's gonna want to be there for.
Interesting.
And I honestly believe that like we're getting this super strong mod and super strong system specifically based off of the fact that something is happening next season. See, like that's why I haven't stopped playing yet. That's why like, we're grinding materials now. That's why we're getting weapons and preparing armor sets
Maybe it's the end of the world.
because for all we know, next season might be that season. That might be that season that like is
Maybe
really
they'll
good
pour,
again.
Maybe they're gonna pull, what was it, Final Fantasy 13? Was it? And just destroy the world.
I mean, maybe. But like,
Screw it, we're starting from scratch.
Right.
Oh wait, no, they already did that.
yeah, they already did that. That meme is over and done, bud.
Mm,
That meme's already flown. But
well, maybe they can do it a different way by destroying the city.
oh wait.
Well, I mean, like the darkness is coming, so anything's possible. Maybe we're having the second Dark Age.
I mean, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we barely recovered a fraction. Talking about the lore, we barely recovered a fraction of our strength from the Dark Age, and the darkness is coming back. Why should we be successful this time when we're not as strong as we were back then?
I mean, right now technically we're stronger in the lore.
Are we?
Yeah, because the Traveler's at its strongest point, and it's closer to the city than it has been, or to the tower.
Hmm.
So technically we're at our strongest point. We're stronger than we've ever been in the lore.
Hmm.
Like, our Canon Guardian is
Well,
literally
this
the
is,
strongest being in the universe right now.
This is the strongest we have with Guardians. But what about the rest of the peoples?
No, that sucks for them.
I mean, the Guardians will survive, but we're dead. We are canonically dead things. We are the fated, fetid dead that the Traveler has reanimated.
I mean, yeah.
To recall some Destiny 1 lore, you're a dead thing made by a dead power to serve a dead god.
That's now awake.
Now it's awake, but back then it was like completely dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have paracausal power on our side, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough, honestly, because
I mean-
our own ghost was taken hostage.
Oh yeah, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I forget. I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
what happens when our ghost gets hijacked again, and we're suddenly facing off against 5 or 6 nightmares?
No, but see, the thing is, that's not even gonna be the nightmares. We were
Yeah.
met with ourselves. We were threatened by ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna face a mirror image of ourselves, and we're not gonna have a ghost.
And see, the thing is, because we're so strong, that means our doppelganger is just as strong or stronger.
Yeah, and it's not limited by the light. It has its own powers, I bet.
Yeah, because the darkness is always going to be a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Star Wars.
So, yeah. I don't think we would be able to survive, honestly. I see no way that it is possible. So yeah, end of the world.
See, I think what's going to happen is we're going to, get this super strong thing, and then not only one pyramid ship, but
We're gonna find
we're
our
actually going to
magic
get
ship.
invaded. What?
We're gonna find our magic bullet to take down the darkness.
There you go. Just like how in Breath of the Wild you have to use the light arrows for Legend of Zelda to kill
Light arrows
Ganon.
have always been a thing, but yeah, like point taken.
Yeah,
Oh god. I almost
but
fell off again.
I think lore wise, I think story wise, what's gonna happen is like we're actually gonna get invaded because
100%, yeah.
for I don't know if anybody was here for the beginning portion of the stream since it was very brief and very short, or if you've seen the actual cutscene itself, but the cutscene that we had with Zavala during opening the bunker was that the ships are like in our solar system,
Mm-hmm.
like outside of
From what I
Saturn.
saw.
Yeah, it was.
Actually, we'll go to the IO bunker and I'll show you.
Yeah, after this one, since we were actually coming to a closer.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, like in the IO bunker, you see the ships in a hologram outside of the this our well like in the rings of our solar system essentially. And so I feel that's why I feel like we're going to get invaded next season,
Most likely.
and that's why we have all this power. But I think Rasputin's going to help us a little bit, but I feel like we're going to get help from elsewhere. But I don't know what's going to help us. Not yet.
Well, there are all those guardians that are outside the solar system. Remember Aphrodite saying during Rise of Iron that there is like a cabal of guardians or light bearers or whatever you want to call them
Yeah.
that are out there that don't want anything to do with the city.
See, the thing is, I keep forgetting the fact that like Callus said he was going to help us.
Yeah, there's Callus, there's whatever Mara has planned,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then there's the outsider guardians.
See,
So there are other things out there.
and plus now we have Saint 14's help, and we have Osiris.
Well, I mean, he's one man, to be fair.
But the one man took out a whole. Kel, come on now.
That's okay. We're talking small scale. I'm talking about like what happens when they start messing with gravity.
Oh.
Yeah, because based on the lore tab from Kruk and Mare, yeah, the darkness can manipulate straight up gravity.
I mean, it did suck us into the ship, so.
Yeah, and possess our ghost, so we can possess our ghost again to make it not be able to revive us.
Uh-huh.
Then there was the mechanical means of the Cabal stripping us of our light by subduing the Traveler, which we thwarted, but that was still something that's feasible.
See, I think next
Then the
season is the Sabbathine season.
Talking about having been separated from their light, and then they became essentially Dark Guardians,
Uh-huh.
and places that are so lethal to us that our ghost can't revive us, like the darkness zones that we're currently in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's like a lot of things out there, man, that can just kill us.
It's true. So right now, I think the story we feel like we feel like we're the strongest we've ever been, but in reality, we have no idea what's gonna
I
happen.
believe that's hubris.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
It's the same feel as after the Rise of Iron during the Age of Triumph, as short as it lasted.
Oh, 100%.
That we're like, oh yeah, we can do anything, and we're like flying onto a ship, you know, being super awesome and everything, and then Gaul comes around and stomps on us.
Yeah, 100%. And then we
Yeah.
got stronger from that. And then like literally every challenge that we fought so far, it made us. I think we're at the peak of our power right now until we hit another power jump. But with everything that we have, and as close as the Traveler is, we're at the peak of our power. See, like as Guardians right now, we
Glass
feel like
half full, glass half empty.
yeah, because I feel like as Guardians, we feel like nothing can hurt us now. Because I mean, we're about to host the Guardian Games in the tower pretty soon, like story wise. Eva Levante is like the host for it.
Again.
Again, yeah, she's the event printer, like officially.
Understood.
So, like, we're hosting our own Guardian games and stuff like that. We're probably going to be revisiting Film Winter's Peak to get the shotgun. There's a lot of like stuff going on that makes it seem like we're too lax, and I think that's when the ships are going to invade with Savathun's army, and it's going to be a whole nother like. I think
King scenario.
yeah. I honestly believe this next season is going to be the Taken King of what actually no, Forsaken was Taken King. I think this next season is going to be Rise of Iron in comparison.
Rise of Iron was towards the end of Destiny 1, so this might be getting close to the end then.
Well, because season 11 would be the fourth season, right?
Yes.
And there's supposed to be four seasons in the year.
Yeah.
So that means that
The end of the world is nigh. Repent! Repent!
but yeah.
Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
But yeah, I honestly believe that like either this is the setup for Destiny 3 that's coming next season, or it's the end all for this arc finally. Because like we've been preparing for Savathun for a long time, ever since what Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I honestly believe it's either one of two things. One, it'll be purely set up for Destiny 3, or it is finally the end of this Savathun arc, the
Oh
Darkness arc.
god, there's a cable there. I can explain.
Uh huh. Sure you can.
I hit that thing. That is not cosmetic, that is actually solid.
Where's the pyramid chips?
Hmm? Oh, right. Literally right.
Oh,
See?
are they gonna light up?
Yeah, they did.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
Okay, so, for those of you who can't read Russian, this is the sun,
Uh huh.
that's Mercury, that's, Venus, Earth, the moon, Mars, Phobos, the, asteroid belt,
The reef.
that's... Oh, okay, the reef. God, that is... Saturn?
Jupiter's closer to than Saturn.
Okay, Jupiter. No, the Jupiter.
It's
Okay,
also
that
the
is
biggest.
Saturn, and that's Titan. Uranus, Pluto, and this is the Kuiper Belt. And then there's one other planet that I can't remember what it's called out there. It's a planetoid. God, I can't remember the name of it. And those are the pyramid ships.
Yeah, they're here. They're like
They
on
are
the cusp.
on the board. And based on what he showed us, yeah, they're definitely closing in on all sides of the solar system.
Yeah. So
They're here.
I honestly believe that next season is gonna be the season. At least I hope it is.
Yeah, next expansion, it's gonna be a big one.
Well, specifically next season, because that would be season 11.
Yeah, I'm fully prepared for the end of the world here because they've built up a lot here, and I don't think it's enough to be contained in one system anymore.
Yeah, I think that this will be the end of an era for like well, this will be the end of the Savathun arc, but like it's probably also gonna set up Destiny 3. Cause like, cause they even
I'm
said
ready
it
for it.
themselves that like Destiny 2's file size is getting way too big.
Yeah, they're gonna be forced to get to Destiny 3,
Yeah.
and hopefully change a lot of things.
Oh my
And
gosh.
finally, maybe we'll have something aside from the light to be using in our arsenal.
I really hope we get Darkness Guardians.
What I want is
I want a Dark Surplus.
I remember all those like theories about like what powers we're gonna have in Destiny 2, because like supposedly our light was being taken away.
Yeah.
Because the tagline was "Welcome to a world without light."
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want one of the theories to be true, and I want wish magic. I want the
Oh.
wish dragons to be like imbuing us with like powers and stuff.
Well, but like we killed the last Wish Dragon.
Hey, just because they're dead doesn't mean they're gone. their
I
bones
mean,
are still around, and that's enough of an existence for them to like do things with.
that's actually true because I mean, like
Yeah.
after we killed the Ahamkara Riven, um, its power was still inactivated.
Uh huh.
So that's that. Um, but yeah, the I feel like 100% that next season is definitely going to set up Destiny 3, but it's also going to be the fight. We're either going to kill Savathun in next season, or we'll fight her, and then the real threat will show up, which would probably
Yeah.
be the pyramid ships if they're not working together.
Which I don't know why they wouldn't.
I mean,
I
I
mean, the
think
Hive have been most intrinsically tied to the darkness out of I think all the races.
true.
Ever since we learned from the calcified fragments, the books of sorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pact of the Deep, I think it was.
Oh
Whatever.
yes, I read
Yeah,
that one.
it's pretty terrifying,
I
man.
love that one.
Yeah, that's one of the ones you got a in physical copy.
It was real good. I still have yet
Mm.
to read the Fallen one. And apparently the
Yeah.
Vex one is out now.
Oh, sweet.
It's
Let's get that
blue.
too. Oh wait, okay, I have to order it online, right? This takes. Okay, so
Yeah. Okay.
we're gonna do our outros now. You first. I've been doing it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Thank you all so much for being here. I know there isn't a lot of you today. Well, for Destiny 2, it doesn't really draw too much, anyways, unless you're doing Trials of Osiris, and that's the unfortunate case, even though Trials of Osiris is dying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I appreciate all of you guys, even for those that show up on YouTube only. I love you all very much, and I read the comments. Thank you. Um, I have a YouTube channel, Soto Entertainment. That way you can see all my past streams. It's more of an archive channel. Your Needle Nines, YouTube Coyote Stash is more of a Let's Play channel. I also have a Twitter, which is at Soto Entertain M1, where you can see when I'm going live and see any schedule changes, which have been put up already. So check those out so you can see what's going to be happening this week and for the many weeks to come, because I finally have my official schedule on there now until further notice. Um, if you haven't already, feel free to follow me here at twitch.tv/Otano to show me your support and show me your love. Also, another way to do so is to sub to me here as well. Um, Not only do you show your love and support, but you also help me financially and you help me continue to bring you guys the wonderful content you most certainly deserve. Um, the schedule is as follows for me. Well, mine and his are like very similar since we do a lot of our schedule together, despite a couple of days. Um, Tuesdays, as you all know, is Destiny 2. That's when we do reset stuff. If there's like new stuff happening, like Guardian Games, for example, or like a new exotic quest, or a new bunker opening up, even though it's only probably maybe the first 10 minutes of the stream. Or just something special happening in Destiny 2 that we want to figure out what it is, and it turns out to be a cool exotic or cool lore thing, or it turns out to be this huge community effort project that was the Empyrean Foundation and the Corridors of Time. Um, Wednesdays, me and Eagle Nine do D&D together with our friends, led by
Yes.
the hilarious Fluffy. Um, our D&D session is at 8 p.m. until midnight, but I do something beforehand. I play Blade and Soul from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. because I'm taking a break from League, and it's a lot of fun and really good right now. There's a nice event going on to help out new players and veteran players. Um, Thursday, as of this week and the weeks to come, will be Final Fantasy VII Remake. This week specifically, it will be from 9 p.m., since that's when it comes out for me, to midnight. We're going to play as much as we can and try to do everything. On Friday, let me pull it up. I completely forgot the time for Friday. On Friday, it is going to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That is the best way it works. And yeah, so this week, once again, for Final Fantasy VII Remake, if you are looking forward to that, it is Thursday from 9 p.m. to midnight, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also on that Friday, we will be continuing our Halo multiplayer, which is from 6 to 8. So if you enjoy that, feel free to come by and have fun with us.
Yeah, that's our just relaxed day
Yeah,
where we just do crazy fun
it's our
stuff.
chill day.
Yeah.
And this Saturday, and this Saturday only, is our final trial stream, aka it's Swan Song.
At least for this
Uh,
season.
yeah, for this whole season for us. Trials isn't necessarily over. It's just we're not going to be streaming it anymore this season.
Yeah, we'll come back to it eventually,
Yeah,
but for this season, we're putting it to bed.
actually, yeah, 100%. Um, Also, during that, it'll be a little longer. Like after we reach our bracket, we're going to be talking extensively about our gripes and issues with Trials of Osiris and how it should be improved and all the things that it's done wrong
Mm-hmm.
and why I don't think, well, why we don't probably think that Trials should have came back this season. They should have worked on it a little bit
Yeah,
more.
we each individually have a
Have our own,
rant
yeah, we have
for
our
it.
own thing, 100%
Oh,
guaranteed. Pretty sure I can just ask Nikia Chopper right now, and he'll just
probably.
start going on about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so that's week. That's this week. Um, I don't do anything on Sundays. Negan Line does something on
I
Sunday.
do.
On Monday we do Halo Combat Evolved because that is the current story that we're doing. Um, we have skulls on. We have fun. We die a lot. It's a blast. Come through. Um, so yeah. Uh, what you do on Sunday?
Well, first of all, I don't do anything on Thursdays. That's
Right, you
one
don't do nothing
exception.
on Thursdays.
Yeah. And Sundays, I'm doing my recently started God of War playthrough. I'm doing it on like normal difficulty where it's a little bit challenging, but not too like intense like I've been doing for other games because I want a little bit of a break. Trials stressed me off enough. I
Yeah,
don't need that
right.
anymore. So yeah, I just started up a new little playthrough of it last Saturday or sorry Sunday, and I'm gonna be continuing on that time. By the way, most of our scheduling revolves around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yep.
Pacific Daylight Time. So yeah, that's normally when we operate, except for a couple of interesting days. Like we said, Wednesdays we do different things at different times,
Uh huh.
and Thursdays I don't do anything while he does, and on Sundays I do things while he doesn't. So yeah, every other day we're together, we're doing things around the same time
Uh
for the
huh.
same thing. I also have a YouTube, like he mentioned, where I chop up all like the Let's Plays I've been doing, and 10 to 14-minute bits, post 2 a day when I upload them correctly. Sometimes it like doesn't process for whatever reason. There's a whole bunch of like mechanical things that I have to do. Like, ugh. Anyways, so YouTube is Coyote Stash. I'll now put the links there for everything. So yeah, got a couple series on there. Got my Bloodborne series, which is entitled "There Will Be Blood." I got my Gears of War, which was played on the hardest difficulty, and it was my first playthrough of it. That is entitled "The Second Chain." And I got the current series on Halo, which is referred to as Hyper Lethal. That is going to include both the Halo Reach campaign, which I already completed,
Uh
well
huh.
twisted, and also the Halo 1 Combat Evolved. playthrough and any future Halo games that we do.
Yep, like
So yeah, that's
Halo
all going to
2,
be in
Halo
one
3,
giant
Halo
place.
ODST, Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo
Hmm.
Infinite, maybe.
That's not going to be part of the Master Chief Collection, but it will be something we're going to be doing together eventually.
100%. Anyway.
So yes, yeah. Currently, right now, the only available games for the Master Chief Collection are Reach and Combat Evolved. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait for Halo 2 to be released on PC because that's
Yep.
what we're doing it on. Anywho, I mentioned before that everything is a story. Every little detail can be told and rings throughout time and touches on all life in one shape or form, kind of like a butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the stories I've been writing, since it's me who's the writer, and I try to tell as many stories as I can because I'm just an overall storyteller,
Yeah.
is me and Otenno's run through the Crucible. So our journey from being two virtual strangers that only really interacted every once in a while in real life to becoming shield brothers to becoming fellow like trials goers. So yeah, there's 3 iterations of that little arc currently available on my DeviantArt, which is called Anarchy 9, and it is 80% true to real life. So most of what is in there is something that actually happened. The only difference is that I try to make it like how it is in Destiny's canon. So it's our guardians talking. I am Eagle 9, the Exo Hunter, and he's Lord Otanos Soto, and awoken from the new Iron Lords and such.
Oh.
And then we have our ghost talking, and then there's some like canon things where I'm like, I'm a swordsman, he's a sniper, I've been through this, you've been through that, and we just go over and have a interesting time. So yeah, if you feel like you want to read what has been played out on screen, a little bit more context, a little bit more detail, then give that a read. And if you enjoy my writing style, go for my other series. It's part of a little book series that's eventually going to get published called the Stormy Chronicles. Currently, the book name is Origins because it's talking about all of the detailed characters and such. So, if you enjoy true science fiction fantasy in the form of, actual like magic and dragons and stuff melding with robots and space lasers and time travel and all that fun stuff, those all get mixed in together with the story that I've been writing. First 4 chapters are already up. Chapter 5 is currently being worked on in my brain and on paper. There's some supplementary stuff in the form of prophecy tablets that is 100% canon to the chapter that it is released with. It talks about several of the key characters within the chapter. So yeah, give that a read if you so feel inclined to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's about it. To reiterate, my YouTube is Coyote Stash. His YouTube is Soto Entertainment on YouTube. I have a DeviantArt, which is Anarchy9 at DeviantArt. His Twitter is what again? I can't remember.
At Soto Entertain M1.
There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to memorize that one. Or better yet, you just send me the link, and I can
Yeah.
put that into mine. There's also a multi-link that we have because since we partner up so often, having both of us on screen is probably for the better because it'll give you some more diverse viewpoints, particularly for that you the Master Chief collection when one of us dies and we
Uh-huh.
can't respawn the other person because we're still in combat. That's a perfect example of why you should have a multi-link hub.
100%.
Anyways, um, that's that's all for me for now. Until next time. Bye.
See ya.